Anyway, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The start of our playoffs here in MPLSG Season 9, Day 1, Match 1. Kingdom Esports versus Absolute Zero. Now, for Absolute Zero's side, this is going to
Hmm.
be the first time they're going to have a match with a best of three. So, all of the challenger teams have
Oh yeah.
experience. Yeah, it's all best of ones there. So, this is a different thing for them. A best of three series, which. Absolute Zero always plays their hardest every game to earn that point. But this time around, there is a chance, if ever, of course, our game will stretch to game three, their opponent, Kingdom Esports, could adjust.
Okay, so now we know how Ian's look like now. We have his portrait now.
Oh, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
so at least we can put a face to the name
Mm-hmm.
now. Okay, so with the Matilda as well as the Chip being first banned, as
True,
well
yep.
as the Phobias that has just entered in. So
Mm-hmm.
Fanny also joining in. So the drafting phase is actually zooming past us pretty fast. At this point in time, Khalil, Lucas are still currently
Yep.
available. What else?
The
I would
Kimi,
say
yeah.
Kimi, Jusin, they're
Yep.
all readily available too. Badang.
Badang.
Let's not forget about Badang
Correct.
and Gatokacha. Although they are not exactly very ban-worthy in the first phase per se, but they are still very good heroes to be picked up within the first phase.
Especially with the hands in the Badang, the hands of Bear. He's been a
Mm.
game changer on the Badang. You gotta respect Badang, the hands of Bear there. But so far, there you go. It's gonna be the backshot being taken out
There
this
we
time
go.
around. I think the Matilda is still pretty strong, especially in the hands of Rapidot here on the side of Absolute Zero. So this is pretty good ban here. But you've mentioned, of course, there's so many openings here. We've seen also Kingdom Esports strategy really looking forward for Malik Tizi to step up. So there's been a game that they have prioritized the Moskov first pick.
Moskov first
Moskov
pick.
first pick. There is a game there, and Malik Tizi that only shows here that Kingdom Esports really want to invest the comfort pick hero of Malik Tizi.
You know what? I think that that's not too out of the question to happen again, considering the fact that now we've got a Harif being banned out too.
Mm,
So the amount of gold laners is definitely dwindling down a little bit with Moskov as well as Granger being one of the top priors at this point. But with the fact that Kimi, Kalia, and Lucas is currently available, it all shifts over to Kingdom
okay.
Esports, where they have decided to pick up a Kalia for themselves, allowing Absolute Zero to pick up the Lucas if they want, as
Mhm.
well as another mage. So in this case, oh, Granger
Okay.
and Juicen.
Granger and Zushin, okay, they're going to take this one out. No, no questions about this one. Granger has been, as highlighted a while ago, has been one of the most comfort picks here for the side of Malik Tizi. But then again, the Moscow is still pretty much open here. But on the other side, with the first pick, Kalea, we've seen how this hero will become an aggressive roamer here as well. Usually in the EXP, it was Vendetta who is doing that one on the side of Absolute Zero, but on Kingdom Esports, most likely it is going to be on the roam.
Yeah, so unfortunately, no EXP Kalia from Vendetta is unfortunate, but we
Hmm.
will always love to see that. But at least the Badang is still going to be a very good pick for Vendetta,
Yeah.
which we've seen a couple of times. In the meantime, Irithel is also going to be a very good pick coming from Kingdom Esports. It's a direct counter, or rather, it's a kind of a soft counter against
Hmm.
Granger. Make things a little bit easier within of the laning phase, just unlocking the possibility of FMM not exactly needing to go over to the gold lane all that much, and just kind of supplementing his forces in either the EXP lane or perhaps
Uh-huh.
even in the jungle whenever he needs to.
Okay. So you've mentioned, of course, the Badang, right? I think this is a Badang worthy second phase pick here for the side of Kingdom Esports. Again, Bear has been phenomenal here in this hero. They can go for this route, Badang. And FMM also has been pretty good on that Garakacha, but instead, I mentioned a while ago, most likely it is going to be a Kalea roam that we are going to expect here for the side of Kingdom
Yeah,
Esports.
I believe so as well. With the clear
Mm.
room for FMM, that would generally mean that if they want to prioritize the Irithel, they should and they could. But that also kind of shows off their hands a little bit too early.
True.
Unless they're not too, afraid of the Granger, they can always leave the marksman pick for later on. And if they have to, if they have to kind of force AZ to ban out the Irithel,
Yeah.
no harm done. There's still
Okay.
Moskov. If Moskov is banned, never mind, no harm done. There's still some others that we
Yeah,
can look
but
for.
for my opinion, abstract here, I think the Kingdom Esports, what I have witnessed and how they play, they really invest much on Malik TZ. So this is also a
Ah,
worthy pick for the gold lane as
mhm.
well as Bears Badang. For me, I can go for the Moskov But down here, if I'm on the side of Kingdom Esports, wherein I will secure these comfort heroes onto their side. But again, on the matchup between the Granger and the Moskov is pretty much okay between these two. I still have, I gotta say, Malik Tizi will not be punished so hard here.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a battle of range there on the gold lane.
Okay, so clearly I think that about a minute has passed. About a minute have passed. So we do have the timer that's slightly frozen up. We will get the drafting for you
Mhm.
guys as soon as possible once that is more or less ready. But you know, with all of these theory that's coming up for us, we more or less have a general idea what kind of composition that they will want to
Mhm.
go for based on what is available. At least for AZ, it is still relatively open. They have the juice in that plays around for teamfight pretty well. In the meantime, Granger is great for single
Yep.
target. Early game, when it comes down to the laning phase, no problems
Yep.
whatsoever unless Irithel is picked. So
True.
we'll just kind of see how that's going to work out in the
True.
end.
I just remembered also it was Absolute Zero who did the Ubi strat that we have
Oh, it, it,
we've
it
shot.
was Absolute Zero?
Yeah, it was Absolute Zero.
Ah,
They did,
shit!
and it was against Team Flash. The Baksha and the
That's,
yes, the SS combo. Yes,
that
correct.
was
That was Absolute Zero.
that was absolutely disgusting.
Disgusting as well. And they did also the Alpha Matilda combo as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
that's
have
true, that's
this
true.
cheeky or
They have
cheesy
like
strat.
combos. They like
Correct.
to play around with combos,
Yep.
which I think that is a very valuable information for us to
Hmm.
have regarding on how AZ wants to play, right? At least for Juicin and Granger, I don't necessarily see any form of combo, but we have seen before a Fredrin plus Juicin combination
Yeah.
whereby you just eternally lock people down. So
Correct.
as much as as much as possible, perhaps we'll look for junglers that have a lot of crowd control. So technically speaking, if they want to go for combo, Fredrin is a great start. Alpha is a pretty decent one to pick up as well.
Hmm.
But a big part of me just believes that it's likely gonna be more of a joy pick,
Yeah.
kinda.
Okay. Joy. Joy is really actually
Mm.
is pretty good.
I
And
think
this
Lucas
is
also not too bad, yeah. Mm.
There you go. Now we know an
Hayabusa.
assassin type Yanzi
Oh,
and
Luoyi.
Louis as well.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Mm.
okay. It's a shift in priority.
Yep. And you have mentioned right before the start of our draft, it changes everything with this with this pick on the jungle. Could be an assassin, and speaking of assassin, it loves to go for a flank maneuvers, and then there you go. The Luyi will now be in this composition as well. So this is a totally kingdom, different Kingdom Esports. What I'm looking right now, because
Yeah.
usually it's front to back
Yeah,
composition.
very micro-based compositions,
Yep.
right? This one is, yes, definitely a little bit of micro, especially since coming from a Hayabusa, but
Hmm.
that's not exactly the thing that sticks out like a sore thumb. It's the fact that they have cross-map plays, very
Mm.
macro-based. So if Kingdom Esports kind of want to go around with it, they would want to go for an EXP laner that is great at sieging or
Yep.
perhaps in split pushing. And speaking of Joy, it does seem like that really happened to be the case. Even though
Hmm.
Lucas is currently still open, they have let that Lucas completely slip through. If they want though, Lucas in the EXP is still a very viable choice,
Mm.
provided that the mages have been picked out. So no more Valentina. We kind of take that Valentina out of the picture.
Hmm.
No more CC. So if as long as we see any one of these teams ban out the CC, that will highly suggest that they want to pick out a Lucas for the EXP lane.
Yeah, and also the glue is pretty much open here as well. Glue has been
See,
stepping up
Irithel
here.
ban.
There you go.
There we
Okay,
go.
Aerithel has been taken out. When it comes to the damage, though, I think the side of AZ already has much here, and
Quite a bit,
this
yeah.
is a very scaling composition is what I'm looking here. But they still, for me, they still lack the lockdown. Yes, you do have the Zushin, but you need that punch, man. So I
Mhm.
think Badang is pretty good here. Gotakacha is pretty much open here as well. Oh, there you go. Badang has been banned here,
Okay,
unfortunately.
fair, fair.
Mhm.
So the next one is likely gonna be a Gato
Yep.
Kacha coming in from Coach DJ. So in terms of the priority, or in terms of kind of how it shifts, AZ will get first pick onto the second phase first. So
Mm.
if as much as possible, if AZ were to pick up their EXP role first, then Kingdom Esports very likely have the opportunity to pick up a Lucas completely uncontested. But if AZ have decided to pick up the Roma first, then that's going to be slightly a problem.
Yep.
Roma or a Flex Hero. That's a problem for Kingdom Esports to not pick up the Lucas. But there are still a lot of possibilities,
Mhm.
But I would like to believe that the Gatakacha should be the next ban
Yep.
for Kingdom.
there's no for me there's no other choice with Garukacha here gonna be the party pick here for both teams. But I'm surprised actually. I thought it is gonna be Absolute Zero is going to ban the Badang and Kingdom Esports is going to ban the Hylos here. But actually because Hylos it's one of the most picked by Rapidon
Hmm.
on the side of Absolute Zero, and of course I mentioned that Bear is very comfortable here for the Badang. But then again, no Garukacha here at this moment in time.
Yep.
Probably the glue right now is hot pick. To be honest here.
Yeah, Glue could still be a pretty good pick.
But
Um,
Hilda, okay.
Hilda, okay, so Hilda is relatively
Oh wow.
flexible, but we can still expect to see the Hilda going over to the EXP. Lucas is still a viable pick for Kingdom if they want to, because of the cross map plays that they have on their side. Lucas also have very good wave clear. That is one thing I would definitely want
Hmm.
to see. They want burst too. So as much as
Mm,
possible, they want to burst. They want to play around the Tsunami Slam.
correct.
Definitely, when it comes down to Oki Shadow Kill, that's not quite enough. So they
Mm,
need a little bit more tankability, a little bit of that duel in the early stages of the fight.
okay.
So they have decided to pick up a glue instead, together with a 1-1. Despite the fact that AZ actually did not have anything that kind of stands tall at the front lines and slow moving. In
Hmm.
fact, it is a Hilda. Not exactly a very big fan of the 1-1 pick, to be fairly honest, but it's still possible.
Yeah. So this is a Rome Hilda we are
Hmm.
going to see, but could also be a Rome Cleed here for
Looking
the
at the
side
fact
of.
that Khalid is going to Vendetta, though,
Hmm.
personally, I do prefer the Khalid roam
Yep.
and then the Hilda and EXP.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, the both of them is rather interchangeable just because
Hmm.
of the fact that they have very similar lane priority. But the only good thing is that Khalid have got definitely a better wave clear. But in the meantime, Khalid also have got the crowd control that we are
Yep.
looking for. So level
Hmm.
4 first, get him to level 4, EXP lane. I think that that's
Till
pretty
the
okay.
enemy
And
reaches
here we
the
go, Abstract.
battlefield.
This is now the
Smash
start of
them.
our first game here between the side of Kingdom Esports and Absolute Zero here in the playoffs of
Welcome to
MPLSG
Mobile
Season
Legends.
9.
So, right off the bat, we have, okay, I think, okay, so right off the bat, we are looking at both of the junglers just going to be starting out in the purple buff. Nothing too out of the ordinary per se, but both of the Romans, oh wait,
Okay,
Rapidude
yeah, there you go.
is the Khalid.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
there we go, there we go, there we go. So
Makes
it's kind of
sense.
like you win some, you lose some kind of situation. If Khalid goes over the EXP, you get level 4 earlier, you wave clear faster. But in the meantime, if you kind of put the Hilda in the EXP, you got way more roaming potential. You actually be able to help out in the middle lane so much more, and you apply so much pressure onto the EXP laner, which is the blue in this case.
Oh, when it comes to the matchup though, if EXP Khalid, right, it's a great counter to a Glue, to be honest, especially with his tornado slashes there because of the spread coming in from the Glue. But anyway, I think we have mentioned, right, that both this Hilda and the Khalid, but wait, hold the thought.
Oh, immediately with Rapidude being the first one to go straight down. While in the meantime, Ian does no longer have got the Ogi Shadow kill, but still managed to pick up a second kill with a returning Shurikens. Bougie, unfortunately, have got no opportunity to come in and instigate more.
Wow, Yanzi is just introducing himself here in this game. But here the big lane.
Bougie doesn't seem like she has a lot of HP left to work with, as FMM puts himself right in the face of Bougie.
Wow, Kingdom Esports, 3 kills here in under 2 minutes. This is a great early game for the side of Kingdom Esports with those rotations coming in from the side of
Another one.
Oh, and another one. That's 4-0 Abstract. And this is big here for Kingdom Esports. They are actually controlling the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, for early stage, I definitely don't expect them being able to get 4 kills within 2 minutes. This is not something that I expected.
Yep.
Hayabusa takes time before he is able to do anything very useful. The Ogi Shadow kill definitely would not be able to do much. So, unfortunately for Rapidude, I think that he's giving away too much of his positioning, especially being alone, which becomes a lone wolf
Yep.
prime for a target for the Hayabusa.
Oh, Salas under the chart here, but still managed to survive. But look at the rotations coming in from Rapido.
Yep, immediately takes him down, finally taking
Mhm.
1 kill for the team.
Oh, this is what you want. Now, this is why you need Rapidot here to be actively roaming across the map here. But
Oh, immediately with the Tsunami Slam plus the Yin and Yang. Immediately just popped Salas. So it's a pretty decent trade. In fact, they have lost, yeah, both sides lost the marksman. So, great.
Oh, there you go.
That's not going to be the end at all, as we do have got the immediately Absolute Zero just rushing themselves right in the face of Kingdom Esports. But it's a 1-for-1 trade so far, but this might be going in the danger zone for Absolute Zero, as the amount of damage coming in from Ian is starting to really ramp up with the killing spree, keeps him in check for most of that team fight.
Well, don't get me wrong, that was a great pick-off coming in from the side of Absolute Zero, but then again, the positioning here was much in favor for the side of Kingdom Esports. They've been under the pincer attack there coming in from Kingdom Esports. That was great counter-attack indeed, and now Absolute Zero, despite they having counter-attacks here and there, Kingdom Esports still controlling the game here with heavy casualties on the side of Absolute Zero.
We're looking at about 2,000 gold lead in favor for Kingdom Esports. Gold lane is kind of out of the question and not to expect too much out of it. So majority of the time, we'll probably just look at fights coming in from the roaming trio. So taking jungle camps is generally going to be the main idea, and of course the objective, which is the turtle, which will be coming out in 10 seconds.
This is the team fight we're going to look out for, but again, out of position here, FMM.
I don't think FMM can get away from this. He did use the Tsunami Slam as a way
What?
to escape, but somehow turns the tide onto Rapidude. FMM, unfortunately, will still go down to the hands of Bougie, as Nan got himself right into the face of the electrifying beast, brought him down to an all-time low, and now Vendetta being the next one under the chopping block, while Bougie being the prime target coming in for the crossbow of Tang, allowing Bear to pick up the kill.
Wow, the sacrifice coming in from FMM, buying so much time there for Kingdom Esports to go for their counter of their own. Absolute Zero punished in that kind of skirmish play, and Absolute Zero here, they must be very wary of that kind of situation, because you don't want, again, your gold lane here and the rest of Kingdom Esports to be fastly going to scale here into this game.
So it does seem like Kingdom Esports have decided to reset the turtle and wait for a little while longer, especially to allow Ians to pick up the orange buff. That also additionally puts him at a level ahead of Nun. He's currently at level 9 now, and perhaps they are going to go for something a little bit cheeky onto Nun right over at the top lane. But a single dash is going to be more than enough for Nun, because he missed his dash. As such, he's going to be stuck and dead.
Wow, that's a, again, beautiful cross-map play coming in from Kingdom Esports. They know how to maintain their lead here, and Absolute Zero just being punished time and time again. Kingdom Esports is just everywhere here, Abstract, especially with the diversion plays coming in from Melon, and Melon's just popping up here in this situation as well. There you go, the concealed play.
And immediately I will see them Maltese as well as Vendetta. Never mind. Immediately FMM with the Tsunami Slam pulls Rapidude right within the turret's range, but unfortunately not quite enough to bring him down.
We've seen Absolute Zero trying to go for the pickoff on their own, but they've been fended off there by Kingdom Esports. Now this is a great defense play for the Kingdom right now. They're trying to go for a diversion play once again, trying to cut off here. Rapidude needs to be very careful here in this bottom lane.
Yep, and here we go. Melon with a diversion into the brush in between of the proxy. But unfortunately, this is going to be a 3 versus 4. But Malik Tizi joins into the fray, so this is not something too bad for Kingdom Esports after all.
Wow, risky play, but still Melon has that flicker, still managed to go back away, but that was a great pickoff just in case.
Oh, the timing actually is pretty good, considering the fact that the creep wave just moved forward. But the amount of damage is not good enough to bring Nun down.
Yeah, not yet. But ENZ, we see how aggressive this player is, especially on that Hayabusa. Now Kingdom Esports slowly gaining control with a tar takedown here on the bot side as well. Absolute Zero, they are very strong here when it comes to the team fight because of the Raging Sandstorm, because of Bougie with a follow-up as well on that crowd control. However, damage is still missing. And we have mentioned, of course, the Granger can really turn the tide of the battle. They just need one team fight to go into their favor.
Oh, Vendetta flickers himself away after a small little poke onto Bear. And when I say small little poke, I mean a really small little poke. But a diversion all the way right in the face of Salas! Brings him down with a Tsunami Slam, allowing Kalia to pick up the kill. Next one up is going to be on the Bougie. Even when it comes down to Purify use, that's not going to do anything for him. That is a total of 4 men down during that initiation. And that is Kingdom Esports 14 kills.
OMG, Melon with an incredible map presence here. Same spot, same target, and this time around Salas falls down, and they are not stopping here, Abstract.
A massive trigger finger coming in from Melon, constantly putting them so much priority and so much pressure all across the map. It's only 8 minutes in. We're looking at all of the T1s down. Middle lane and bottom lane T2 down. This is an absolute absolute chaos coming from AZ.
Chaos indeed for AZ, but dominance for Kingdom Esports. And speaking of dominance, not a single turret has been taken down here onto their side. Absolute Zero with so much pressure into their hands here. All lanes are pushing through, and Kingdom Esports are not stopping here at this moment.
This is unfortunate, right? Because AZ, they actually have got zero answers for Kingdom Esports. They don't even have a lot of resources to actually deal with Bear. Just look at the amount of tankiness that this guy has. And he didn't even use any of his Slam to recover his HP throughout the entire ordeal. Well, in the meantime, Maliktisi also has a lot of damage. Ogi Shadowkill also has a lot of damage. Just small little pokes all across the map from the side of Kingdom Esports. More than enough to send 2% back home. But Saras, he found a kill on the Ians. This might be a great start. But unfortunately, Vendetta doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. He goes back home. Unfortunately, they also did lose the T2 turret in the middle.
Yeah, they did lose here, but this is Absolute Zero greatest comeback so far right now with Rapidote here with the Flicker of Rage's Sandstorm. It was Kingdom Esports caught off guard. Now Absolute Zero with the kills onto their side, they needed more. Or they need this kind of situation more into their side in order for them to scale back into this game. And look at this one, 2 Thunderbelts being secured here for the side Absolute Zero. They are looking forward into the late stages of the game here. They want their heavy fighters to actually contribute much, not only on the crowd control, but also on the scaling part.
Now, if whether they can even made it over to the late game is the main question, because we are looking at about 12,000 gold lead. Absolute Zero, they have no damage.
No damage.
Nada.
Nada. But again, with that Rapidote Raging Sandstorm a while ago on that skirmish play, they need some miracle plays once again. They need those plays that can really go into their favor here. But this time around, Abstract is really difficult here, especially with the map right now we are seeing. It's all blue. Not a single turret yet been denied here against Kingdom.
This is tough, right? They're almost getting the bottom lane T1, but at this point in time, it doesn't really quite matter because they can't even get out of base. The whole defense is still standing up. Okay, never mind.
There you go.
Middle lane's whole defense is down. This is a perfect entryway for this upcoming Mega Creeps plus the Lord. This is a baby Lord though, so no charge whatsoever. If Absolute Zero kind of loses this base turret, oh wait, it does have a charge.
It does have a charge, and now it will now secure the inhibitor turret in the mid, which opens up a lot of space.
Immediately, Bougie doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, but still managed to get himself right out of the dodge. While the Tsunami Slam is just going to be cutting onto Vendetta and bring him down almost instantaneously. While we still have got Maliktisi still alive and dealing a decent amount of damage, but fortunately this is going to be FMM flickers himself away, while Rapidote is just taking quite a bit of damage. But he's going to be fine. Kingdom Esports getting themselves the T3, more than enough, and they're pretty happy about it.
Oh, yeah. Keep chasing here, but so far Yanzi pretty much overconfident in that situation. Has been taken out there, but still Kingdom Esports mission accomplished in that siege right now with the map being opened here against Absolute Zero. It's really now very much into against their side here. But again, this lineup, the itemizations we have seen so far for the side of Absolute Zero, they are looking forward to just stretch this game. Take a moment or take a single team fight to do their favor and hoping to switch the tides this match against the side of Kingdom Esports.
So now we're about 10 seconds in to 12 minutes where all of the holy defense would then go down. The Lord is also coming in about 1 minute, but Absolute Zero's jungler is only at level 14.
Yeah.
Within this 1 minute, he gotta put himself up to level 15.
Yeah, they need to look at Absolute Zero here, waiting to go for the pickoff here. I think Ianzi right now, we have been talking about him, his gameplay, and now we have seen so far how aggressive he is. We have seen how he loves to dive, even though under the turret in that situation, which, to be an assassin player, you need this kind of aggressiveness. So Kingdom Esports, I do love how ENZ charging this team right now into heavy aggression, controlling the early stage of the game, now controlling the map itself. And now the first start has been taken down here at the bottom side. Absolute Zero slowly but surely trying to gain ground here against Kingdom Esports.
They even have the priority in taking back the jungle. At least Kingdom Esports, they did give the purple, they did give the orange buff away to Salas. So that is a small little win for the side of Absolute Zero. But aside from that, small little changes around the map, such as the bottom lane being completely being pushed up, forcing 1% to go back down to the bottom to deal with that lane. While the rest
Lord.
of Kingdom Esports deals with the Lord, but that is the Tsunami Slam just going to be connecting down on the Nan a little bit too early, as such he does not have any CC immunity. Salas immediately popped up when it comes down to the physical immunity, and Malik Teasy went up to the air, did whatever that he could onto Rapid Dude, and even when it comes down to Diversion, brings down Salas, 5 men out. Kingdom Esports takes this 5-man team wipe like it's completely nothing.
Oh man, that was a disaster indeed. Absolute Zero caught off guard trying to contest the Lord. But then again, here we go. It is going to be Kingdom Esports securing this first game. Abstract with absolutely dominance here.
Right from the start of the game, we're seeing that kind of dominance, and it moved according to their tempo, and there is no change in the way that they play from the start to the end. They made full use of every single opportunity that they got. Melon with great diversion plays to really pick off Salas and keeps him constantly in check. So nothing too surprising throughout the game. No turnaround, no comebacks whatsoever. It's a pretty straightforward game for Kingdom Esports, as they know right from the start, if we keep this on, we win.
Oh, speaking of how aggressive they have become, Kingdom Esports, I think Ianzi is a pretty good assassin player that we have just witnessed here on that Hayabusa. And now, with the best of 3 series, Absolute Zero, first time going to experience this kind of match here. Now they have a chance to actually regain control once again or to go for a reset. But however, again, we've mentioned a while ago, Absolute Zero, it's all best of 1s on the regular season. But here in the playoffs is a best of 3. Will they be having this capacity to just reset once again? Let's
No,
see.
that's the question, right? That's the biggest question. Now, when it comes down to this draft coming in from Absolute Zero, we do not manage to see that kind of combo that we were searching for. In the end, they didn't go for that. They went for very standard meta picks that looks good on paper, but not necessarily something that works together very well. As I mentioned before, they don't have someone that is that really initiates all that well, aside from the
Rapid,
Khalid. So that's possibly the only one thing that they can work with. But unfortunately, just a single crowd control like that from Khalid is not quite enough to stop the rampage coming in
Correct.
from Kingdom Esports.
And speaking of Rampage here, look at the itemizations that we've seen so far. Yanzi all damaged all day long here. His rotations, his pick of plays is just incredible. They cannot stop this guy here, especially with the side of AZ. As you have mentioned, right, they do have the crowd controls needed, but they don't have the punch yet, especially during the early stages of game. They're looking forward for the late stage where the Thunderbelt being secured, and also the Sky Piercer is not really a good investment here for the side of Salas.
Yep. In fact, that was, if I'm not wrong, the very first item coming from Salas. So even though he was kind of losing the lane, his team is losing, but they still went for the Sky Piercer. So it didn't give any returns. In fact, this is diminishing returns from the side of Salas. So not exactly a very great start for them, especially since we're looking at number 1, Joy. Number 2, Khalid. Number 3, Hilda. They are supposed to be a very dominant team in the early stages, falls off in the mid stages, and then becomes a little bit more annoying into the later stage because of the prominence, or rather the presence of Thunderbelt. Both the Khalid and the Hilda are prime users of the Thunderbelt, and that allows them to skill over the later stages with more of these tanky possibilities.
And so, speaking of this composition coming in from AZ as well, that this composition is more of the DPS. They don't have really that much of a burst here. I love the itemizations a while ago that I've seen coming in from FMM and Bear with a single, with a pickup of that Radiant Armor and Anticuirass. It really just fended off those DPS damage. And look at the damage taken from both FMM and Bear here. They share the same percentage here, and this damage has been really much of a great advantage coming in from Kingdom Esports, just to not finish him off. No damage or no kills whatsoever. 6 kills only here for the side of AZ because of the tankiness we have from Kingdom Esports.
Yep, you can see, right? Bear constantly just stuck himself right in the face of AZ and just be like, you know what? Touch me. Touch me. Hit me. Baby, one more time.
Yeah, baby, baby, one more time. Oh man, Absolute Zero actually abstract here. I think this composition is pretty okay for Salas. Salas is pretty good as well. I mean, on the gold lane.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they cannot just finish the pick-off play, especially during the later stages there, wherein the map has been totally been in control here with the side of Kingdom
Yep.
Esports.
That doesn't
Yeah,
help anything.
but now
It's passive now.
it's passive.
Ah,
Yeah, it's a different
makes
thing. Yeah,
sense.
it's a different thing,
Changes so
really.
much. It makes
Mm.
carry a lot more, a lot harder to hit in some
Mhm.
sense.
Yep.
A lot easier to engage. A lot easier to kind of dish out damages.
There you go.
But
Okay.
in the meantime, Ian's eight
Mm.
is to 2 is to 7 total KDA.
A great way, opening game for Ian's, right? I mean, he introduced himself already here. He's the MVP on the game one. Ian's right now on that Hayabusa, which now gives Absolute Zero a little bit of information here for the side of Kingdom Esports. Ah, the new jungler here for the side of Kingdom Esports wants to play an assassin, but this is just the game one. We still have so many things to look out for this player here. But of course, speaking of MVP, I agree with you also, Abstract, that Melon really did contribute so much when it comes to map control and harassing
Mhm.
Salas on that gold lane.